Welcome everyone to the third game of the match between Gukesh and Arjun Erigaisi. The Death Match 2.0. Arjun currently leads with a score of 1.5. It's game number 3. It's the no castling chess format now, this one. With 7 minutes plus 2 seconds increment, all the rules of the game are the same. Just the fact that both players cannot castle. And a shake of hands, and there we go. Gukesh opens the game with d4. How does this change the game when you can't castle? We'll see here. Knight comes out to f3, e6. This format was championed by Vladimir Kramnik and it was introduced in Dortmund and became quite exciting because the game overall slows down a bit when your king cannot castle. b3 played by Gukesh. So for now, all the things are pretty similar. Knight f6 looks normal. Oh, he puts his knight on e7. Maybe not the best idea. c4 played here by Gukesh. White's position already looks a little bit more harmonious. But the engine evaluations cannot be easily trusted when you know that both kings cannot castle either side. This is very exciting now. b6 played by Arjun. Gukesh quickly plays bishop b2. He lost the previous game and he wants to make sure that he makes a comeback here. Score is 1.5 in Arjun's favor. f6 played by Arjun, and now Gukesh develops his knight here, knight to d2. And the light squares around the black king are a little bit soft. But how is Gukesh going to take advantage of it is the question here. Arjun taking his time, bit unsure of this position, plays bishop b7. Now bishop comes to d3, putting itself on this very nice diagonal here. And now, how is black going to play? Knight to d7 has been played here. And a very, very solid position here for black. White needs to figure a way out to create something here. In this position, he goes h4. Wow. Because a normal move would have been castle, but here you cannot castle. So h4, h5, h6 could be the idea here that Gukesh is going for. Sometimes you can also play like king f1, g3, king g2. That also is possible. I think Arjun is deciding to castle by hand. He puts his king on f7. But his problem is he cannot really move his rook because the h7 pawn could hang. And there you see Gukesh clamping down the structure. Now definitely you can't move the rook because h7 falls and there's no g6 coming in. For the time being, Arjun is feeling a little bit claustrophobic here. Maybe c5 is what he must do to gain back some space in the position. It is quite possible that he can push his pawn to c5. He goes g5. Wow. And his idea is if you take, I can take back and then suddenly rooks get traded and he's very happy. You know, black is doing very well here. So Gukesh mustn't take. But then what should he do? Because Arjun can push his knight away with g4. And Gukesh shows what is the right way to play here. Pawn to e4. A fantastic move. Breaking in the center when your opponent is playing on the flank is a great idea here. And he's pushed his pawn to e4 right in the center of the board. And Arjun places his bishop to f4. Putting pressure here. And now the best way for white to continue would be to take, and push the pawn to e5. With the bishop here and the knight here and the bishop opening up, this seems like a fantastic way to continue. Just that this has to be played this way. And how should white play here? Wow, Gukesh taking his time because there are many options. You can also think about taking on d5 with the e pawn, opening up this bishop here, that's also feasible. And when you play g3 and takes here, you can think about taking with the king. And because you can't castle right now, your rooks will be connected very soon. So that's another way. You can also go directly g3, but then the problem is after bishop d2, you have to take with the knight. You can't take with the king anymore. So with all these possibilities being analyzed, Gukesh has come down to 4 minutes 54 seconds. And I think rightly he's taking his time here, because this is the critical moment of the game. Just wondering if you could directly push your pawn as well, but this doesn't seem like the right way to continue, because after f5, black seems to be okay. He goes queen e2, and I think another logical move, defending this pawn. This time if black takes, he can definitely take back with the king. Arjun may want to bring his rook over here. He must take care of the h7 pawn falling. But you really cannot win the h7 pawn without taking on d5. And once you take on d5, then the rook here will open up against the queen and the king. So definitely rook e8 is a move to be considered. And Arjun doesn't want to really take here, because once you take here, knight takes, it just helps white's pieces in some way. So you can see there Arjun coming as low to 4 minutes now on the clock. He goes rook e8. Fantastic move there by him. Gukesh needs to do something about this rook standing opposite the queen and the king. How to take that into consideration is the question. If you take here on d2, king d2 is possible. So maybe you want to push g3, force him to take, and then take with the king. I love how the players are taking their time and they are slowly getting comfortable with this time control that is there in the game. Seems quite logical to continue this way. Gukesh has 3 minutes 40 seconds. Arjun has 4 minutes 3 seconds. Wow, look at Gukesh's focus there. It's immense. And so many people in the crowd watching this. And each one of them is given those headsets to tune into the commentary. G3 played here. Bishop takes, and now definitely taking with the king. No, he takes with the knight. Wow, that is interesting. And now Arjun can push the pawn to c5. A very nice move, because after d takes c5, the knight can jump in attacking here. And this would be really a great idea, because the white king cannot long castle quickly. Imagine that you could long castle, white would be better. But because the king cannot move out of the center easily, here it would be dangerous, because there's a bishop. Going to d1 to c2 will take 2 moves. So c5 does seem like a right move. Let's see if Arjun can find it. It's his kind of a move. It's a punching move in the position. Will Arjun Erigaisi play the move c5? He looks maybe ready to push his pawn to c5. Oh, he plays his knight to f8, a slightly passive move there. And I think this would give Gukesh the time to move his king away. King d1, king c2. Maybe that's the plan that Gukesh should go for. This no castling chess is definitely a different kind of a beast. f4 played here by Gukesh. What a move by him. He is opening the f file where the black king is weak. Wow. That is something. Now, can't go g4. You will simply lose the pawn. You have to take. And now Gukesh can recapture, opening up the g file here. Rook g1 to g7. Queen g4. And really huge attack. But he goes rook f1. Wow. Well, he's just tempting Arjun to take here and then opening up his rook in this direction. So rook f1, what a move there. by Gukesh. Tremendous move by him. Takes fg3, king d1 played. Oh, so he's actually trying for king c2 and then using the two rooks on the f file. Just giving up two pawns. What a brilliant concept there by Gukesh. He's known for playing without engines, takes here, known for his creativity, and he's showing that in full bloom here. With taking here on e4, I think taking with the bishop looks like a good idea. You are looking in both directions here, but also taking with the knight comes with its own upsides because f6 is very soft. Gukesh has 2 minutes 36 seconds. Arjun down to 2 minutes 3 seconds. The game is reaching its peak of excitement here. If Gukesh manages to convert this advantage, then we will have an equal score, 1.5 points each for both. And Gukesh thinking here. Wow, he's also gone down below Arjun's time. He takes with the knight. He's calculating certain variations. Arjun brings his knight to f5. And now an important move to connect the rooks, king c2. It's not an easy move because you might be worried. Let's say king c2, knight d4 comes with a check. But then after takes, you have rook takes f6, king e7, and other rook joins to f1 with a very, very crushing attack here. So that's how you would like to handle this situation. But Gukesh now down to 1 minute 30 seconds. He plays king c2, the best move in the position. How should Arjun continue? Because his knight cannot move. This knight cannot move because f6 hangs. The bishop taking here doesn't make sense because it will attack the rook and the knight. So too many difficulties here for Arjun to figure out. Maybe wondering if queen d7 makes sense. But then there is knight f6, king f6 and d5 with a check here. It could also be something to look at. So there are all these possibilities in the air. And now Arjun has to make his move. He's down to 1 minute 12 seconds. You cannot take more time than this. But his position is so desperate as of now. Maybe he could also think about playing b5 just to open up some lines against the white king. What else? "50 seconds left. Clearly both the players are feeling the heat of the moment. And what is Arjun's next move going to be? He plays his pawn to h6. Now the rook swings over to e1. The speed at which Gukesh is putting the pressure on Arjun is immense. Knight to h7 played. And let's see how Gukesh converts this, because there definitely seems like a tactical possibility in the air. If you move this knight away, bishop takes f5 does become a threat. He plays his pawn to d5. What a daring move. What a bold move. If you, by the way, take here, I can take back and then attack this knight and this pawn here. So d5 destabilizes the position. Queen d7 played here by Arjun. The final error. Gukesh has 1 minute to try and figure out this move. Knight takes f6. Knight takes f6. Queen e5 attacking the knight, and it is completely winning position here. So let's see if he manages to find this move. Knight f6. 40 seconds for Gukesh. Can he play it? 30, 29, takes it. Knight takes f6, found here by Gukesh. Arjun now must take back the knight. He takes it, and queen to e5. What a move there. And now this is all over because this is hanging, this is hanging. The two rooks are beautifully placed. King on c2 is safe. This is a complete victory for Gukesh of no castling chess format. He takes on f5, ef5. Rarely do you see Arjun coming down to 1 second on the clock, but he knows this game is gone. Queen g6, f6 is hanging, can be taken both ways. He resigns. Arjun loses here. Gukesh scores his first win. The scores are now leveled with 1.5 each. This death match is definitely going down to the wire. It also shows how equally matched both these players are, and the victory in the no castling chess format goes to Gukesh.